Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bourbon Bar. I'm Holden, and I just had a very stressful last 20 minutes, but here we are live streaming again. So, welcome everyone to the chat. Today, I'm going to be reviewing, well, not really reviewing, I did already review the Bardstown Discovery 7 series, but I will be going over the Bardstown Discovery 6 series, and then I'll be giving them a head-to-head battle against one another to figure out which one I actually like better. They're two really different whiskeys. Actually, one's a bourbon and one is a whiskey. So, that being said, everyone, welcome to chat. Let me know what you're drinking. I had just moved in, so if you probably can't tell because I don't have a lot of stuff set up, but I do have a new apartment set up. So here I am, my whiskey shelf, my chair, my table, everything's all set up. The one thing I didn't do was finish setting up my internet. Well, now I'm set up. So here we are. Sugar Kitty is in the house. Hello, Sugar Kitty. Thanks for stopping in. Meow. Hanging AZ's in. Hey, Hanging AZ, what's going on? How's it going? I'm kind of just starting off the palate with a little bit of Maker's Mark FAE02. I haven't drank any whiskey yet today. I was kind of doing, well, I was golfing. Let's be honest, I was golfing, and first time the golf course really opened up. Well, second time in the recent weeks. It's been pretty crappy here in Wisconsin. Lots of bad weather. Last week we actually got like an inch of hail, which is pretty horrible. Um, and it's supposed to be spring, so I understand the rain, but hail in the middle of spring, and then it snowed like all weekend, which kind of sucked. But I was moving in, doing other important things, which I will talk about tonight. But one thing that's super important that a lot of people might be here for is I am doing a giveaway tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give away one of each of these samples. I'm not sure if I'm going to do to separate people or to the same person. Someone gets one of each. Maybe I'll do two. I'll do two 1 ounce giveaways of each of these. So one person will get one of each, and the other person will get one of each, depending on how many people even enter the giveaway. So that being said, um, welcome to it. If you guys would like to enter the giveaway, I have my Venmo down in the description of the YouTube description, and it should be Holden-Tilot, which is just my name. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy. So if you guys would like to enter, it's $5 is one entry. You can enter as many times as you want. $10 would be two entries, and so on and so forth. So Sugar Kitty says, got to decide on a pour. Yeah. I really haven't had a chance to review the FAO2 or really get into it much. I've been pretty busy recently with moving and all that kind of stuff and getting engaged, which I will talk about later. But it's a couple degrees cooler and it could snow tonight in New Jersey. Or it's New Jersey, yeah. Yeah, I always forget that part of the United States is just as cold. Well, almost as cold as Wisconsin is. But Richie Z is in the house. Richie, hey, how's it going? On a long commute? Well, we'll listen in. Congrats on 500. Thanks, Richie. Yeah, I'm so trying to get down on trying to figure out this internet thing. I also forgot it's my 500 subscriber special. So welcome to that. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for subscribing, everyone who's in here. So. If you guys haven't had FAEO2, what are you doing? Honestly, FAEO2 is so good. Like I said, I haven't had a lot of chance to get into it, but it's fantastic. But anyway, I'm actually going to go ahead and start pouring these into the respective glasses because I'm going to let it kind of get a little shot to air out. Bardstown Disco 6 is going to be going into glass A. And then Bardstown Disco 7 will be going to glass B. So I actually haven't, as you can see, I haven't had much of these. I have given them about a week or so to open up, so they're not complete neck pours, but at the same time, they could probably open up just a little bit more. Um, I got them relatively about the same time, which is odd because seeing that we got 6 almost an entire year later than everyone else, but then we got 7 like before everyone else is pretty baffling to me. But I got them from the same place, and they always sell them under retail price, so that's pretty awesome. Richie Z lives in California. Of course, it's a long commute, even if it's only 5 miles. Yeah. So I don't live in any big cities or anything like that, but um, whenever I go down to places like Chicago, 5 miles is like a half-hour drive. So here in Wisconsin, it takes like 4 hours to get across either part of the state, maybe 3 to get to the southern border from Green Bay, but 4 across to the Minnesota border. So I can't relate. Usually everything's pretty fast. Everyone's going, 75, 80 miles an hour on the highways. So there's that. Samples, that's what you can pour. I have 2 samples here from Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans, and I've been meaning to break into them, but I haven't yet. One of them is Sparrow Seagrass Rye, and the other one is an Obtainium Rye, like a well-aged rye from Obtainium. I haven't had a chance to break into those yet, but I really want to. I just I've been busy. Only putting out so many YouTube videos a week. Probably gonna step it up here soon. So, but all right, I'm gonna set this off to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting into the Bardstown Discovery 6 before we start doing it blindly. I'm gonna let you guys know my tasting notes on 6 for those of you who haven't, heard of it yet. And I'm sure most of you had, since it's pretty outdated, but it is what it is. Six is very sweet. One thing about 7 that I don't know if it was as sweet as 6 was, but 6 was very, very, very sweet. It's got some fresh, almost like a powdered sugar or like a glaze that I'm getting in here. Definitely some darker fruit notes, some rich fruits like a cherry bomb, maybe some raspberries, maybe a strawberry. I would say definitely a red fruit. A lot going on in this one. For those of you who don't know, Bardstown Discovery 6 has 68% Kentucky 11-year-old whiskey, 16% Tennessee 17-year-old whiskey, and 16% Indiana 7-year whiskey. So all of them have pretty high corn mash bills, above 70, between 70 and 80% corn in all these mash bills for number 6. And then number 7 is the one, it's actually the first Bardstown Discovery series that is blended whiskey instead of a bourbon, which I believe all the other ones have been bourbon up to this point. So pretty important. But Discovery Series 7 is 31% Kentucky 12-year, 25% Kentucky 12-year of a different mash bill. Not too different, though, to be honest. But, little things can change everything when it comes to whiskey. 20%, 21% is an Ontario corn whiskey that's 12 years old, so that's a Canadian corn whiskey. 15% of it comes from Indiana. It's a 7-year whiskey, and it's actually a barely legal rye at 51% rye. And then 8% of it is a 17-year-old Tennessee whiskey. So I'd be interested to figure out what these whiskeys are. I kind of want to know what the Tennessee whiskey is, because every time everyone talks about Dickel, it's minerals and Flintstone vitamins and all stuff like that. But I don't know if I really get that in the batch 7 or Disco 7. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. J. Henry La Flame Reserve. You know what's actually funny is J. Henry is a Wisconsin distillery, and I haven't even had. I think I had one pour one time of like one of their cask finished ones. One of their, I think it was like a Chardonnay finish or something like that. It was an older one, but I really liked it. And for some reason, I never got around to getting an actual bottle of J. Henry. But it's really good whiskey if I remember correctly. Where are you from, Sugar Kitty? Did you get that? Does J. Henry have distribution everywhere, or is it like just Wisconsin? I never knew they were that big. If the answer is everywhere. I think that mash bill was Dickel. You can really taste it in Disco 5. Yeah, so that's what I heard. I didn't get a chance to have Dickel. I didn't get a chance to have Disco 5, but I've heard that it's very Dickly. But I haven't heard anything Dickly about Disco 7, and I actually haven't had Dickel. So I'm saying Dickel too many times for me to be comfortable with it. But um, it's Dickel, but BBC has high age Dickel that is not Lincoln County process. That would make sense. And you're from New Jersey. You literally just said that at the beginning of the at the beginning of the video, and I forgot. But yeah, New Jersey. That makes sense. It came from Drums and Drams. Huh. Interesting. I don't know where they're from, but um, Drums and Drams. That's what's his name? It's so hard to keep track of everyone's name, you know. That J. Henry is finished in Armagnac. Yeah, so I believe that was this year's special release from J. Henry is the finish in Armagnac, and last year's I believe was the one that I had, which was finished in some kind of other barrel, but it wasn't the Armagnac one. The Armagnac one has a cool bottle though with all the flames on it. It's really cool. I passed it a lot of times. I just never pulled the trigger because I didn't know if I would end up liking it or not. But you know, it is what it is. You gotta pick and choose which ones you want. But Cam is from Ohio. Yes, Cam, that's his name. And Ohio, so that's pretty somewhat close to the area of Wisconsin, I guess. But maybe distribution just got out that far. But yeah, I did pass up on. There was a J. Henry. They have like a limited edition every year. It's like their yearly. I don't know what it's called. The yearly release where it's like their anniversary whiskey or whatever. And that one I passed up on. It was $130, I think, which is really expensive. But from what I heard, it's very well done and very good. So that'd be interesting one to try if I ever got a chance to have a pour of it. But so on the palate of Disco 6, noticing it's a bit warmer, very great mouthfeel. It's kind of got this I want to say like a cinnamony baking spice, and I can't tell because the other whiskey that I had earlier was a little bit lower proof compared to this. I think this is slightly lower proof than this, but I couldn't tell if it was proof or cinnamon. I'm gonna have to double dip here. Okay, definitely a little bit of cinnamon in there. The proof is nice and warm. It's honestly not that high of a proof. I think it's 110 or 111.1 proof. But it honestly finishes pretty warm on the way down. It is really nice. I like it a lot. Yeah, so that's definitely interesting. I'm gonna have to switch them around now. So the only good way I have of doing this is just not looking and then going around until I get dizzy and forget which one's which. But let's make sure they have the same amount of whiskey here, so I'm not cheating. Perfect. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and mix these two glasses up. A is going to be Bardstown Disco 6. B is going to be Disco 7. Pretty self-explanatory, numerical order, alphabetical order, whatever it is. So I'm just going to kind of swirl them around here, read chats. Hanging AZ says the only finished whiskeys he has are empty bottles. Yeah, so I actually only have Angel's Envy and this High West Double Rye. The High West Double Rye is finished in Manhattan barrels. Very, very good. But yeah, I have Angel's Envy, High West Double Rye, and then other than that, I don't think I have other finished whiskeys really. I know I have the Woodford Double Oak. That's a toasted finish, so I guess if you wanted to consider that finished whiskey, you could. Otherwise, yeah, I don't have a lot of finished whiskeys in the arsenal. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into this here. I'm going to start with, when I refer to these, I'm going to refer to these as glass 1 and glass 2. It's going to be the easiest for everyone to remember. Okay. So glass 1 is smelling quite nice. Seems to be a lot going on in this one. I'm getting some like fresh bready notes, some fresh pastry notes, which I think I referred to as Disco 7, but still early. It should be easier to pick these apart once I have both of them side by side, but I'm going to do one at a time here. My Bourbon Journey, welcome to it. Cheers, brother. Thanks for stopping in. In case you were wondering, we are having a giveaway tonight. So every $5 sent to my Patreon, linked in the description, is one entry to win a sample of each of these whiskeys. And I'll be giving away 2 samples, depending on how many people donate. But yeah, I think about 2 samples sounds fair. So 2 people will win a sample of each whiskey, and I'll mail it out to you guys. So $5 entries is all it takes. And I'm not monetized yet, so you will have to send it to my my Venmo, which will be linked in the description. So there's a lot of dark fruit going on in this one too, but more like plum or a blackberry type fruitiness. Okay, so that one's got a little bit of tartness to it. I want to say like some kind of tartness, like almost like a strawberries tart or like a tart cherry, but not sweetness as much. I would say definitely kind of like a fruit pie, like fresh baked cherry pie. You know when you heat up cherries and they kind of get that syrupy drizzle that's just a little bit more tart than just a normal cherry. Kind of getting that like that. Not very warm on the way down, but definitely a rich, viscous mouthfeel. Oh, okay. Hanging AZ says finish as in finish the bottle. That would make a lot more sense than just finished whiskey, but yeah, okay. Sugar Kitty says Jay Henry appears to be on seal box. Oh, okay. They're out of this bottle, but it was priced at $89. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think I saw it in stores around me for about $80, $75, $80. But like I said, they're a Wisconsin distillery, so probably a little bit cheaper for them to ship it out to Wisconsin than it is to put them on steel box. So plus steel box has to make money here and there. So all right, so glass 1 is very kind of like a sweet and a dark fruity sweetness, but also has some pastries in there. I'm gonna get it on the palate again actually because I didn't think too hard on it. It's got some kind of funkiness to it. Definitely some oak influence on it for sure, but it's kind of got like a savory note in there. Maybe like a leather, but not like harsh, like a soft leather. I don't really, I mean, I don't know if soft leather is technically a note, but you know what I mean. Some leather in there, but not overly aggressive. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to glass two though. Right on the nose. This one smells a bit sweeter and a bit creamier, almost like a vanilla wafer, some vanilla in here. I want to say some vanilla, maybe some vanilla frosting. Some caramels in there too, for sure. Not a whole lot of oak in the nose, but maybe like a sweet oak, like a carameled oak, or what is it called? Was it carameled oak? I don't even know. All these notes that people come up with nowadays, it's insane. But Hagen AZ says he likes bourbon, not too experimental with the finished stuff. Yeah, it's finished whiskeys are very hit or miss. I feel like some people they take their shit whiskey and then they finish it so that they can sell it and have people be able to drink it. But other people they finish it and it really adds something to it. Like the High West double rye finish in the Manhattan barrels. That's really wild. Like it's a lot. Just like it's adding so many different flavors and it's just interesting, but it's not one that I'm drinking regularly or 24/7. So I understand why you wouldn't want to drink it every every day. So love leather and tobacco. Yeah, leather and tobacco are very good notes. I do smoke cigars too, so well, usually I smoke cigars. I haven't smoked one in a while, but I do smoke cigars, so it's really nice when you get a nice tobacco flavor note in there, or otherwise just leathery notes that complement that like oak and caramel a lot. Those are always really nice. But yeah, this one definitely smells sweeter than glass one. I'm gonna go ahead and get on the palate now and see how it tastes. Okay, this one definitely has some leather. This one is a lot heavier leather, a lot of oak in there, a little bit spicier, um, but not like overly spicy. I wouldn't say it's more of an oak spice, along with the proof. The mouthfeel is really nice. The finish seems a bit hotter than the other one, but honestly, for those of you who don't know, these are very, very similar proof points. This one's 114.3, and that's number seven is 114.3, and number six is 111.1. So very, very similar on the proofs of these two. I do have water here that I'm going to be using to kind of rinse out my palate in between here. But yeah, that's really nice. I think companies use the funky barrels. Yeah, so I don't know what it is about. I mean, obviously, everything that comes out of a barrel is going to be different than the last thing. So sometimes you're just gonna have shit barrels. That's what happens when you're making whiskey. But and you gotta save them somehow. And if you can make them good with finished whiskey, I think kudos to you. But I think that adding crappy barrels into a finished barrel just to make it sellable is not as nice because a lot of people consider finished whiskeys to be something they can sip easily, super sweet, super kind of like a little bit more going on to it. And the if you're just having the finish cover up bad taste notes, then is there really a point? So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I'm sure other people have their 2 cents, but that's kind of just the way I feel. But yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys noticed. I guess in between, while I'm just kind of sipping these, this would be a great time to talk about what happened this weekend. Which, for those of you who didn't see on my Instagram, I got engaged. I proposed to my girlfriend now, well, my fiance now, on Friday, which was super cool. She said yes, obviously, because Um, well, who wouldn't say yes? Just kidding. I'm not that full of myself, but honestly, I'm super excited. What I did is we're moving into this apartment together, which is a new apartment for both of us. So when she was out of the apartment doing something like a class, she had class, and so what I did is I set up the apartment to have like flowers and candles and all that good stuff. I kind of put some lights on the ground and made like an aisleway to the front door to kind of where I would be standing. I had some of her favorite flowers, which I believe are hydrangeas. I think that's what they're called, hydrangeas. Um, and I had them in the wedding colors she always says she wanted, in the blue and the white and the silver. And I basically made this giant presentation so that when she came over, I would be standing there, ready to propose. And then she got there, I proposed, it was awesome, and now I'm engaged. So that was kind of a quick story for you guys. I'm really excited. She's really great. You guys will probably see a lot of her, or at least some of her, in upcoming videos. Once she graduates school, she'll be living here with me full time. So she'll be able to do videos with me, kind of like how to get your girlfriend a drink, and whenever I do cocktail videos, she'll like that. I'm gonna try to get her into bourbon for sure. Um, but I can only try to convince her so much before she just isn't into it. So Sugar Kitty says, I have High West Double Rye finished in Fum Blanc barrels. That's the same as a Sauvignon Blanc, but barrels are smoked. It's weird. I don't mind it. But like you said, no way I want it every day. Yeah, that is really interesting. I've never had like a smoked wine. I don't really drink a lot of white wines. So Sauvignon Blanc would be white, I'm pretty sure, right? Blanc is white. So I don't really get a lot into white wines. I'm kind of more of a red wine kind of guy. So a lot of that port barrel finish, all that kind of stuff is super right up my alley. Um, but yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm not sure. Does the smoke flavor come through at all? Or is it just the wine finish, the kind of grapey, green grapey notes that come through? That'd be interesting to try for sure. It's kind of like scotch for me. I don't think I could do peated scotch every day, but I actually have had a few that I thought were pretty good. So probably somewhere along the same lines as that. Hagen AZ says, wine finishes are head scratcher for me. Not a wine fan, but I suspect the same thing in wine that gives me headaches would infect the whiskey. Yeah, so some people are like that. And actually, my dad is also like that. He kind of, whenever he drinks wine, even if it's just a sip, he'll have a hangover the next day for like half the day. And I always was wondering if I would have that, but I haven't so far. And I really like drinking wine. So that's pretty good. And I'm pretty sure they make something that filters the wine that's supposed to get rid of that headache thing. I don't know if they work. A lot of things like that are usually a gimmick. But Hagen says, congrats, man. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I posted about it on Instagram, I think on Sunday night or yesterday morning, I think. So a lot of people were saying congratulations and thanks to everyone who did. I'm super excited and super happy. So there's so little actual wine that gets in the whiskey. It's more of barrel taste. I don't see that it would have enough chemical to give you a problem. Good point. I know that the wine flavors kind of soak into the oak, and I I'm pretty sure that the stuff giving you a headache is probably the sugars from the grapes and stuff. If I was guessing, the fact that it's probably a higher sugar content than stuff like whiskey. Um, and maybe just that, even if you drink a lot of it, I don't know exactly how wine works, but I would assume that drinking wine finished whiskey wouldn't have that effect as much as drinking actual wine, but I'm no expert, so I'm not sure. But anyway, back to this whiskey. So this is glass number 2. I almost forgot there for a second. I looked down, but I remember picking up this one as glass number 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and get back on the nose. Kind of opened up to like some kind of like oak. It's almost like an oak sweetness. Definitely a creamy sugaryness to it. The palate is just I really like this one. So far I think this one's in the lead. I'm gonna have to go back to that other glass to kind of side by side them. But this palate is so nice and decadent. It's very sweet, has like that caramel and oak in there, but at the same time it's got like a nice undertone of a leather kind of um oomph to it, and it kind of like brings everything out and kind of makes the sweetness shine a little bit, but it's not overly sweet, if that makes sense. It is really nice. I really like it a lot. So now I'm gonna go back to glass one, and I really think I'm digging that one more so far, but we got time, so we're gonna figure it out. To any of you who recently joined, or if you're just coming in, you didn't get in the beginning of the video, I am doing a giveaway tonight. What I'm doing is every $5 that you send to my Venmo, which will be linked in the description, is going to be one entry to win samples of these two whiskeys. So it'll be a 1 ounce sample of Bardstown Disco 6 and a 1 ounce sample of Bardstown Disco 7. So yeah, just Venmo me $5. I'll go through at the end, put everyone in a randomizer. If anyone even enters, I haven't done a giveaway like this before, and I don't have a whole ton of people watching, so I may not even get anyone don't sending in money or anything or entering the giveaway, but that's okay. If not enough people enter, then I won't give anything away. If only 2 people enter, then those 2 lucky people will get a taste of both of these whiskeys. So that's that. Okay, glass one definitely smells like butterscotch and like donuts and just breakfast pastries in general. I almost want to say there's like a honey in here. Definitely like a honey, maybe like a honey bun. Oh, that's a fantastic note. It smells just like a honey bun. Like the honey buns that have like the glaze over the top and it's covered in like honey and super super good. Yeah. Now I'm shit. Now I'm kind of like on the fence because I really like the nose of this one. I think I like the nose of this one better than the nose of this one. This one's more fruity, blackberry sweet. Um, this one is so much more pastry, breakfast, dessert type sweetness. Freshly cooked honey buns, still warm, where you grab it and your fingers sinking into the glaze. Super great. Hmm. There's something on the palate that's just throwing me off a little bit. And that's why I'm so torn between the two because the nose of this one is phenomenal. But something on the palate's kind of a little bit rough around the edges, I want to say. It's almost like they don't want to mix as well. That like I have that sweetness in there, but there's a lot more oak spiciness in this one. And hmm, there's definitely some kind of funky note in here. It's almost malty, I want to say. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to wash out my palate with a little bit of water here. I got in my Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans, Glencairn. Shout out to them. But Hanging AZ says he thinks the wine has a tannin and nitrates cause a headache. Yeah, but then you would think whiskey tannin would do that too if you had a really um, tannin oaky whiskey, maybe. Not entirely sure. I think you looked it up, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Sugar Kitty says the High West does not have a smoky taste at all. By far, it's really heavy grape taste. It's like a rye sandwich. Typically, rye minty herbal notes to start with a berry grape middle followed by a rye spice. Is that weird? That sounds interestingly good to me. I really like I really like rye bread. Go figure. Uh, that's interesting. So I personally really like grapey flavoring. I like my Eagle Rare tastes like grape soda, and I love that. But I'm more of like a purple grape kind of guy, less of a green grape kind of guy. And I know the white wines are usually a green grape kind of wine, so hard to tell. But Hanging AZ says, I looked it up. An article said that there are histamines in wine that can cause headaches. I guess you could take an allergy pill first. Yeah. Well, some people they get heartburn when they drink whiskey. Like Dan Shook, I'm pretty sure. And my girlfriend actually does too, or my fiance, sorry, actually does too. And I guess that's the same thing as just taking like a Tums or like Pepto Bismol before you start drinking. Kind of like you want the whiskey so bad that you just take medicine beforehand so you can just drink it and not be falling apart. But it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know if I would want to take like a blood thinner like Advil or something like for headaches and then drink alcohol, which is another blood thinner. That would probably be less optimal because I'm pretty sure that's how people die. But you never know. Sugar Kitty says it's typically either a tiny bit of methanol or nitrates. There's less methanol in whiskey because it's distilled, but probably will still give you a problem. Most likely nitrates. Okay. My Eagle Rare has a grapey taste, almost a bit like wine. Did enjoy it. Yeah, so mine definitely has a grapey taste. It's like an artificial grape soda, like really grapey taste, and I love it. I'm here for it. It is mixed in with like sweet oak and like notes like that and cola. So obviously, there's things carrying it along. But I love my Eagle Rare. It's actually a store pick, so I really like it. Dun, 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 dun. Couldn't be tannins, otherwise your bourbons would be way worse. Yeah, that makes more sense. I was gonna say because bourbon is definitely lots of oak influence and tanniny, so histamines dilate blood vessels, causing a headache. That is interesting. So, huh? Whiskey doesn't give you a headache. That's good because if it gave you a headache, then you probably wouldn't be here watching me talk about it. um, Eagle Rare Buffalo Trace can give me that, particularly picks for sure. The High West is even more grape than that. Oh wow. Okay, so that's really interesting. That'd be a fun one to try, I'm sure. Mine is very cherry forward. It's Manhattan barrel finish, so that sweet vermouth that you're getting in a Manhattan, and even some of that. Do you put bitters in a Manhattan? I think maybe, maybe not. I think it depends on the recipe, but yeah, there's this like super cherry note in there that's really nice. Kind of just adds a lot to the experience. But you know, I wanted to get the Bourbon Junkies Melbach finished uh, double rye. I didn't pull the trigger because I'm kind of holding out hope that I'll get a chance to get one of their stag picks, but odds are that's not going to happen. So I should really stop holding my breath for it. But their Driftless Glen one that he was talking about recently sounded really, really nice. So I might have to go get that one since it is a Wisconsin whiskey. But all right, I think it's time that I make a decision on which one of these I like better. So glass number one. It's got a sweeter pastry, honey bun, very honey bunny. Just because it's a super sweet honey note in there on the nose. And then the palate, something weird happens. It's kind of got like this funky, spicy. I almost want to say like not minerally, but maybe grainy. Maybe like a grainy malty type thing going on. It's actually not bad at all. now that I'm having it. It's not bad. It's just different, and I don't know if it really works with the nose as well. Something glass number two is totally more fruity. A lot less of that sweet honey note in there. Much more of a like a caramel candy bar with some vanilla. Definitely fruity on the palate. Dark fruit like a blackberry. Um, like a blackberry jam. Maybe some like burnt caramel with some oak influence in there. Not like abundantly oaky, but gosh, this is hard. Okay, so the decision I think I'm coming to for these are I like the nose of glass number one better. I like the palate of glass number two better. So now I guess it comes down to which whiskey or which one matters, which it has a complete package. Do I like the smell better or the palate better? Which one am I going to spend more time with? Which one do I want out of my whiskey more? And I'm not entirely sure. Might have to go back and forth one more time to figure it out. I'll read some of your guys' comments um, and then update it. So I don't have any food allergies, but I have a fever pretty bad. Food Network. I'm lost. I don't have any food allergies, but I have fever. I don't I'm sorry, hanging. I don't even know what you're trying to say. Um Sugar Kitty says we could trade some samples if you'd like. I've heard from Dan Like that they have a High West double rye in red wine instead of the white. They said it was similar with the wine all in the middle. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be down for that. If you want to slide into my email, I can definitely send you over some High West double rye finished in the Manhattan barrels. It's definitely interesting. It kind of gives more of, like I said, a cherry note rather than a grapiness, which I personally find works better in a lot of whiskeys and grape. Grape is kind of hit or miss with a lot of people, but the cherry note usually holds pretty well in a lot of whiskeys. But yeah, hit me up in either side of my DMs on Instagram or hit me up on my email, and I'll definitely swap samples with you if you want. Hay fever is old guy speak for allergies. Okay, that makes that makes more sense. Um, Understandably, I lived across the road from a farm, and every spring my brother and sister would die of allergies because of when they were all baling hay and all that kind of stuff. So makes sense. All right, to figure out which one of these glasses I prefer over the next one, I'm gonna do one last head to head. Shit. That's just that's a hard one. I think I'm gonna have to go with I think I'm gonna have to go with this one. This one definitely has a lot more of the palate, a lot more of the overall. I don't dislike the nose of it. In fact, I really like that fruity, super fruity sweetness that's coming on the nose of it. I prefer the honey bun, like the really doughy, sweet honey bun one that I'm getting from glass number one. But I don't dislike the fruitiness coming from glass number two. But the palate, I'm all in on the number two's palate. I mean, it's got that leather fruity deliciousness. It's kind of really well rounded, kind of like the perfect little package. And the finish is also really nice. Definitely warmer, I would say, than glass number 1. Definitely a longer finish. So super, super good. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I almost don't want to look underneath these because I could be completely off on what I'm thinking, but if I was guessing, and I've only had like 2 pours of each of these whiskeys, but I would guess that this one is number 7 and this one's number 6. But like I said, not entirely sure. I could be way off, but they're both fantastic. Um, Catch up on chats here quick before I reveal which one of these two actually won. Louis Delfina, welcome. I think it's your first time here, or definitely your first time commenting. Just recently got the High West Double Rye finished in Aquavit. It's quite interesting. I have to visit it again. So I don't even. What is Aquavit? Hanging Ice, he just asked that too. He said, "Is Aquavit a spirit?" I've never heard of. I mean, I've heard of Aquavit. I definitely have heard of Aquavit, but I I've never really researched what it is and what it has to offer. So I guess I don't know what kind of flavors Aquavit would bring to the table. And High West Double Rye is such like a wild whiskey to begin with, which is why I think it works so well with the finishing because you have all those like weird like dill and caramel, eucalyptus, like those weird notes that you get from High West Double Rye that probably mixes well with a little extra sweetness. But Sugar Kitty got sent me an email. Perfect. I'll look at it after this. Particularly with a rye, the aquavit must be a licorice bomb. So aquavit must be something floral, if I was guessing. Wild turkey finished in maker's barrels. Interesting. I've never heard of that one. Neck pour was almost astringent, so I'll revisit after it breathes. Yeah, maybe just pour it in a glass for like 10, 15 minutes. Let it just kind of open up. Maybe give it a swirl job, an SJ, a spin job. But it'd be interesting to see how that one turns out. Yeah, so it's an herbal liqueur. So that's interesting. Aquavit is a Scandinavian-like schnapps, very licorice tasting. Well, I'm pretty sure Hanganese hates licorice, but I personally I like some licorices. I'm not a huge fan of black licorice, not my forte. But if you like black licorice, the Aquavit finished double rye sounds like something you would really enjoy. It's kind of like gin. So gin is hard for me. I'm kind of torn between liking gin and not liking gin. It's like I like gin drinks. I like gin and tonics. Gin is really good mixing with stuff, depending on the gin. But gin martinis are not my forte. Whereas a vodka martini, I can drink that all night long. But I think depending on the gin, gins can vary so much because they're adding so much different things to it that it's like one gin is going to taste completely different than the other. Like Bombay and Tanqueray taste nothing alike. But I personally like Bombay, so it's just kind of personal preference, I guess. Oh, that would be a strong mix with rye. I agree. That sounds very, very herbal. Charleston Moore, welcome to it. Thanks for joining. What are your top 5 pours right here, right now, under $50? Okay. I would say, do they have to be in order? Screw it. I'm not gonna do any order in particularly, but I would have to say I really like the Wild Turkey 101 for a budget pour. Super amazing. Brothers Bond, super underrated. I think if you're just looking for something super sweet and super easy to sip on, especially if it's summer or if you just kind of want to drink it mindlessly, that one's fantastic. That's about $35, $40. I really like Elijah Craig, just mainstay small batch Elijah Craig, super good, and that's really cheap. That's in the $25 mark. I'd say Maker's 46 is definitely can't go wrong with Maker's 46. That one's fantastic, especially for a budget pour. And last but not least, I would say, depending on, maybe I should throw a rye in here, huh? Um, oh, I can't leave out Wild Turkey Rare Breed. That's a fantastic bottle. Lots of oak influence, lots of cinnamon and super cherry. Very, very nice. I really like that. So yeah, that's probably my top five or that I own. Don't get me wrong. I've had some other ones that are under $50 that I like more than those, but out of the ones on my shelf, those are probably my favorites. Hanging AZ says he prefers non-licorice ryes. Yeah, I think I remember him saying that on the one rye blind that I did. So understandably, I hate those. I hate Sambuca. I hate Galano. I hate Pernod. Yep, yuck. So I've actually only had Sambuca, but I'm not a fan. I gotta say, I don't really enjoy black licorice at all. When I was younger, I used to get licorice from like my neighbor lady, and she was just an old lady. And at first, I thought it was just normal licorice colored black. Then I tasted it. I'm pretty sure I ended up crying because it was so gross. And as a child, I've been scarred ever since. So black licorice is definitely not high up on the priorities of things I want to eat. Um, yeah, so love black jelly beans. Well, that's interesting. Black jelly beans, are those black licorice too? Same as um same flavor anyway. Anise, is that what black licorice is? Anise? I don't know if I like enjoy it a lot, but I like a big citrus note rise. Yep, I agree. Citrus notes are great. Rare breed is expensive to $55 for rare breed. Oh, that's highway robbery. I'm pretty sure it's 45 or 40 here. Interesting. Okay, in New Jersey, it's right at the cusp of $50. That's about, I'd say it's about 45 in Wisconsin. If and I see it regularly, it's everywhere. I mean, you can find rare breed as easy as you can find Turkey 101 or Woodford Reserve for all that matter. Um, Dope. I like that five. What do you think about Old Forester 1910, 86, 1897, Bottled and Bond? And which one should I go with first? I've never had any Old Forester yet. Well, I haven't had the 1897, but I have had um, 86 and 1910. I did try in a bar. I guess it depends on your budget. If you're willing to spend that $50, 1910 is fantastic, especially if you like a double oaked product like Woodford double oaked, something on the like sweeter marshmallowy side of that. Um, but otherwise, 86 or 86 is great too. Maybe if you're in between all of those, get the 100, the 100 proof bottle and bond. Just a mainstay like the orange, like this one, this one right here. If you can get that one, this one is really, really good, and I'm pretty sure it's actually cheaper than the 86 proof. And it's kind of got a lot to offer, being all that 100 proof. So I hated the anise seeds they used to have on sausage pizza. I have never had anise on sausage pizza. That sounds. I mean, people like pineapple on pizza, so I guess everyone has their place. But whatever, I guess. Um, Anise Pernod, French anise liqueur. Not a fan for me. Nice list, brother. Thank you, Derek Weaver. Thanks for stopping in and joining. For those of you who haven't been here since the beginning, or if you're just joining, or if you're in the chat, I am doing a giveaway tonight of these two whiskeys. So if you Venmo me $5 at my Venmo, which is in the description, I will be sending two people and 1 ounce samples of each of these whiskeys. So $5 enters you to win. You can enter more than once. $10 student entries, obviously. Then if you go to, and then I'll actually, here's a special deal. If you guys want to donate $10, I'll do 3 entries for you. So $10 would be 3 entries. Otherwise, $5 is 1 entry. And at the end of the live stream, I'll go through, spin a random wheel, and decide who's getting them. I am giving out 2 samples, so there will be 2 people winning them tonight. So just so everyone knows and everyone's aware. Probably not anise, but fennel. It's a herb with very similar flavor. Fennel is the flavoring they put in Italian sausage. I that's interesting. I've had Italian sausage, but I guess I really don't know what it tastes like now that we're talking about it. Um, really interesting. How am I doing the giveaway? So there is a Venmo in the description. I don't know if you just heard that, but yeah, Venmo in the description. Venmo $5 is 1 entry. $10 will be 3 entries. So I would say I'm probably gonna start doing the giveaway in the next 5 minutes or so. So if you want to get donated by then, that'll probably be perfect. Start with an Old Forester 100 for a reference point. Yeah, in reference to Charleston Moore, yes, Old Forester 100 is phenomenal. It's kind of just center of the road. It's got enough proof and enough oomph to like not be a budget like 80 proof pour, but at the same time, it's super sweet and crushable, easy to drink. Lots of like cotton candy, banana, typical Old Forester notes. A lot of your Old Forester is going to taste somewhere near that Old Forester 86, but not exactly on the 86 mark. I like to drink up a line. Fun as whiskey gets better. Fun as the whiskey gets better. Yeah. All right. So now we're all caught up. It's time to reveal which one of these 2 whiskeys I preferred over the other. So glass number 1, which I put last out of the 2, is B, which is Bardstown Discovery 7, which means that glass number 2, which was first place, is glass A, which is Bardstown Discovery 6, which honestly, I kind of saw that one coming. From the little that I did have from these, I noticed that the 6 is definitely more fruity sweetness, while the 7 has a lot of that honey bun pastry notes to it. But they're both so phenomenal if you have a chance to get them. The 6 was very like just I think well-rounded in total. The 7 kind of had an amazing nose, a good but kind of like weird palate and finish, but still a phenomenal whiskey. I did pay more for number 7 than I did for number 6. Number 7 I got for $130, which I think retail was $140, normal retail, and number 6 I got for $115. So number 6 I got cheaper, which is awesome that it's better whiskey, but they're both worth all of what I paid for them. One thing, so I did do a review on Bardstown Disco 7, and in that video I said that I would pay up to $155 for it if it was my first time seeing it. I didn't do a review of Bardstown Disco 6 except for at the beginning of this video or the beginning of this live stream. So just for reference, I would probably, if I saw Bardstown Disco 6 on the shelf, I think I would honestly pay up to that 155, 160. I'd have to go higher than number 7 because I did like it better. But I would say $160. I would definitely pay up to $160 for it. I saw a lot of places around here have it at $200 a bottle. That's a little bit high. It's a little bit steep for me. I don't think it's worth that much. Very few whiskeys are, but $160, if it was my first time having it, I would definitely pay it. If it was just a backup bottle, I don't think I would pay any more than what I did, which was 115, maybe 120, depending on what area you're in. But both really phenomenal whiskeys. Yeah, number 6 was definitely just the whole package. Super sweet, super fruity, a long enough finish. Just a bit warmer, a lot more going on, but not overly wild per se, but super great. Yeah, that's awesome. Sugar Kitty says Italian sausage has a somewhat licorice flavor. The flavor chemical is shared between Fennels, anise, and licorice. Interesting. That's honestly news to me because you think of Italian sausage, you usually think of like a meaty, savory thing. When you think of licorice, you kind of think more of like a sweet piece of candy. So that's definitely an interesting one to me. I've never heard of that, but I guess if I try to think really hard, I might be able to get that. I always get banana with Old Forester. If you don't like bananas, maybe skip it. Yeah, so Old Forester, a lot of Brown-Forman products in general, lots of banana. Banana runts, which apparently are what real bananas are supposed to taste like before we genetically modified everything. Um, but yeah, Old Forester definitely banana-y. And my brother's Bond, which I have right there, is based off the Old Forester profile, and that's definitely one of my mainstays. It tastes like super bananas. I mean, some of the most bananas you'll ever get in a whiskey, if I was being honest. I actually like bananas, so there's that. Um, Luis says I drink 1920 and as a dessert whiskey tastes like a banana bread. Yeah, so 1920 is super good. I definitely get some banana on it, but I get a lot of like cherry and chocolate on it as well, and kind of just a lot of like oak spiciness on it, which is really great. It is a higher proof at 115, which I enjoy, and the mouthfeel of that one is really nice. But if I ever, I'm kind of like between 1920 and Brothers Bond. I kind of go back and forth between that because Brothers Bond actually tastes a lot like banana bread because it has that banana flavor in it, but it's a 4 grain, and that wheat kind of brings like this bready note to it, so it really has a lot of like banana bready flavor to it. But it's only 80 proof, so it's a bit thin on the mouthfeel, and it's really crushable and easy to drink. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for that night. But um, all right, now I gotta do the giveaway portion of this video, or start doing the giveaway portion of this video. So bear with me for a moment while I look it up. We'll see if who all's donating and who all wants to enter this giveaway. I have to get my spinning wheel up here. Um, okay, if anyone wants to donate within the next, I'll give it 2 more minutes. Anything within the next 2 minutes, I will count valid. Otherwise, that's going to be it. That's a cutoff 2 minutes from now. So at 7:05. At 7:05, I'll cut it off. So if you want to enter the giveaway, definitely hit me up in the Venmo. Like I said, 2 winners if I have 2 people donate. Otherwise, if there's only one person who donates, that one person will win. So look, odds are pretty good right now. If I was just looking, I think, yeah, odds are pretty good for a winner. Haganese asked Charles and Moore, "Do you have Old Grandad 114?" That would be interesting if you had that. That's kind of like a little different profile than Old Forester, but I've heard very good things about OGD 114, and it's under $40. It's actually in like the $25 range, so that would be a great one for you to pick up and sip on if you were indecisive on what you wanted. Because honestly, for under $50, you could buy OGD 114 and one of the other bottles I said, like the Old Forester 100 or the Old Forester 86 if you already have the 100. So system trend. Would you believe me if I said I have like 30 bottles of Stag Junior? Yeah, unfortunately I would, because a lot of people have a lot of bottles of Stag. It seems to be a running theme that if you see it in the wild, buy as much as you can. And honestly, before the last couple of years, it wasn't super super rare. OGD 114 is more of the peanut profile. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a Beam product, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I've heard a lot of peanutty things about it. I love peanut flavor, depending on the peanut. Obviously, if it's like a young note, then I'm not a fan of it. But if it's like a peanut butter or a peanut dusty note, I'm really kind of a fan of that. So that's awesome. All right, giveaway is officially closed. So, there was only one person who entered the giveaway, so I will only be giving away one sample. Well, a sample of each of these whiskeys. So, uh, if you guys, if more than one person paid, definitely let me know. But only one person paid that I seen here. So, the winner of tonight's giveaway is Luis Della Pina. So Luis or Lewis, however you say your name, I'm sorry if I butchered it. Email me. My email's in the description below. So send me an email. It's the Bourbon Bar, WI, as in Wisconsin, at gmail.com. So send me an email. I'm going to need your information like your address and that kind of stuff so I can ship it out to you. I'll get it shipped out here within this week, so you should be seeing it probably sometime next week if I was guessing. But thanks for entering the giveaway. And that being said, the giveaway is officially closed. So yes, congrats to Luis. Luis, if you're not in here, I will try to get in contact with you somehow. You can, like I said, you can email me, or if you have me on Instagram, you can slide into my DMs, and I can get your information through there. But the Instagram is the Bourbon Bar _. So it's really up to you. And you are here, so you did hear it. Congrats on 500. Thank you. Yeah. So this is my 500 subscriber live stream and giveaway. So it's kind of like a milestone for me. It's halfway to my goal, which my goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm slowly growing. It is it's a grind for sure, but it's something that I'm really having fun doing. Meeting a lot of new people, a lot of cool people. I know I see Hangin' AZ and Sugar Kitty all the time, and a lot of other people's live streams. Super great people, and everyone else who came here, Luis, Derek, and Charleston, all you guys who came in here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for contributing to the chat and joining in. And it was a great live stream. So I know the Bourbon Junkies will be on here in probably 40 minutes, so or 50 minutes. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I gotta finish all my whiskey, and then I gotta go season a new charcoal grill. Well, a new smoker charcoal gas grill combination that I just got. So I'm gonna have to do that before it gets dark out. Hit him on the gram, G. Yeah. So also, Sugar Kitty, I will be looking at my emails for your email about doing a swap on the High West Double Rye. But that is going to be the end of this live stream. So, Whiskey Nose is currently on. So if you guys jump over to Whiskey Nose, definitely tell them that I sent you. And yeah, that's going to be the end of the live stream. So if you guys like this live stream, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I forgot to say that throughout the entire video, but if you aren't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe and hit the like button, and enjoy the rest of your night. Congrats again, Holden. Thank you, Hangin' AZ. Thanks for coming in and watching. But that's the end of the video. That's the end of the live stream. Thank you all for coming out, and I'll see you guys in the next class.